All right. There have been some questions about the journals, and there have, I've noticed a lot of people are not reading the directions, so I will take that on myself and I will show you what I would like you to do. Okay, so when you are in the course, if you go down here on the left-hand side to where it says journals, when you click on that, okay, right, you'll write 5 journals. Okay, I'd ignore that. Please see course content, and I will show you where it is instead. I thought I would move it. Okay, general journal information. But so what you see is, journal for chapter 1, okay, and then you'll see journal for chapter 2, and I'm going to put up journal for chapter 3 in a minute. But if journal for chapter 2 says, please look at the journal directions and the score sheet to get a better idea of what I'm looking for. Also, read my feedback on your first journal. So let's take a look at this general journal information, and when you click on this, you're going to find the score sheet, the directions. I am going to put up a sample student journal right there. So let's do the journal directions. This is what it looks like. Okay, so journal assignment. Each journal is to be prepared as a short 1 to 2 page essay and organized using paragraphs and complete sentences. Each assignment must be word processed in Mla format, which is times 12-point font, double spaced, with the file name as your last name and the journal number. For example, if your last name was Smith, it would be Smith Journal 1. And a copy needs to be submitted to Blackboard. Okay, so what you have to do, copy the directions, only the thing that I have bolded for each step in your journal. And then these 2 through 5 are suggestions on how you can write a good journal. Be spontaneous. A lot of people, when they're trying to create work, at the same time, they're also trying to edit it. And for the most part, creativity, I always get this backwards, is a right brain activity. That doesn't sound right. And editing is a left brain, or maybe I have it backwards. I will figure this out. In any case, get ideas down on paper before you start saying, no, this isn't any good. So not only are you spontaneous, but you should be honest. I am the only other person who's going to read this, and I promise I don't blab your stories to people. So if there's anything you want to share that you don't want other people in the class to know about, believe me, they won't know. So, and also be creative. Do you have quotations that you like, or maybe lyrics from a song, or maybe you have a photograph or some artwork that you've done? You can include that. All right, number 5, I always say this is going to be on my tombstone, if I have one. Dive deep. When you think you have exhausted a topic, write more. Take a break. Maybe walk away, come back and read it and say, oh, I could say more. Students have sometimes said to me, oh, you want all the boring details. Details are not boring. I was an English major in college, and I remember being so excited because I was going to get college credit for reading. So, yes, I am a nerd or a geek. I never know the difference between the two of them. I love to read. So I would rather that you took an extra page. You said, oh, well, you said it should be 1 to 2 pages, but on this one, I went to 3 pages. Great. Go to 3 pages. I don't think I have ever said to, I'm saying this slowly because I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever said to a student, your journal was so long I couldn't read it. Okay. So those are ideas of how to make sure you get ideas down. And then the last one, revise your journal before you submit it to me. One thing I want you all to pay careful attention to is use of the word you. Remember, I talked about that in the introduction. You shouldn't use it unless you are addressing me. Okay, I don't think you are. So if you're talking about yourself, use the word I. It's perfectly acceptable. In this class, you are allowed, you are expected to write about yourself. If you are making a general statement, then you can say we, you can say people, you can say students. Okay, alrighty. So those are the directions. I wanted to show you the score sheet. Looks like this. I'm scoring you on 4 different areas. Have you clearly identified the issue? Have you used right here, chapter concepts and terminology? I want to see you show off that you have learned, you know what a performance goal is, for example, or you know how to do it, not just a SMART goal, and then SMART means specific, measurable, affirmative, realistic, and time-bound. Okay. I think I'm coming down with a cold, so I'm drinking tea. Okay. So you need to use the words from the chapter. And then I call this the so what? And not like, so what? I mean, now that you know this information, so what will you do with this information? Okay. So you're coming to conclude, you're drawing conclusions. Alrighty. Mla format, it's right here. Margins should be 1 inch all around. The header should be on every page. The identifying information is on the first page. The entire paper is double spaced. Times New Roman 12-point font is used. The title is centered. The file name is correct. And the work is an attached Word document. Right. And then last of all, did you copy the bolded directions? Did you answer every part of the journal prompt? And did you do so using accurate and correct academic English? Okay. Excuse me. Let me show you a sample journal so you see what it would look like. Okay. So, and I will actually take you through the steps. This is a header. The header is your last name and the page number. And then only on the first page, you have your name, you have my name, you have the name of the course, and then you have the date. So obviously this was from last year. Okay. You have the title, and then the directions are bolded, and then the answer is given. And then it goes on to the next one. You'll notice this looks very much like the college and career. I made some changes over the semesters. Okay. Excuse me. So how would you go about doing this? All right, let's do this. So your last, what are we going to call you? We will call you, your name is, let's pick a gender neutral name, Pat Jones, right? And then my name, and make sure you spell it right. All right, you can either write Marguerite Yowen or you can write Professor Yowen. Either one is okay. And then it is FYE. Does anyone remember the course number? Is it 3171? And let's say it's due today, or you're working on it today, so you would do 13 September 2020. Notice no abbreviations. Okay, and then this is going to be Journal Chapter 3. All right, I'm going to highlight this. It should be centered, which is Control E. Okay, there needs to be a header. Well, how do you do the header? Okay, you're going to go to Insert. You're going to go over to the right to Header. We're going to do Edit Header. Okay, you're going to type your last name, Jones. Okay, actually, let me do it this way. It needs to be over on the right, so you're going to do Control R, which will write. Okay, then you're going to type your last name, Jones, put a space, and then you're going to go here to page number. All right, it's going to be current position, plain number. Okay, now let me show you what happens when you go on to the second page. Do you see how it says automatically put in the new page? And do this again. It's automatically put in the page number. So if you type your last name and then 1, it's going to be your last name 1 on every single page. If you try to put this in manually, I guarantee there's something's going to go wrong, and then you're going to find, because this happens all the time, that your header, which is supposed to be at the top, at the head of the page, is going to end up being maybe a line up from the bottom of a page, or 2 lines in. All right, we're going back because we don't need this. Okay. There's one other thing that you should do. Let's say just type some stuff. I don't know. What are the bolded directions? I'm sorry. My brain is not working today. Once you've typed some stuff, highlight it. I want you to go into paragraph. Okay. Do you see how the spacing afterwards it says 8 point? I want you to change that to 0, and I want you to change this to double. Okay. So now you have set this up correctly. Now, here's my suggestion. I want you to save this as, let me save it to my desktop so I can find it a little more easily. You're going to save it as, let's say it's going to be FYE journal template. Okay, so you save it. Hello, save it. All right, so let's get out of it. Yeah. I'll minimize that. I'll minimize this, and I'll minimize this. Okay, this is my house. This is where I am right now. So if you go into FYE journal template, you pick this up, or you pick this up. You open it. Hello. Oh, it's slow today. One. There we go. And it's journal number 3. Then what you do is you're gonna you work on it, and then you're going to do a save as, and you're gonna change it to what's the title supposed to be? Your last name, Jones. Oops, I can never spell that right. Journal 3, and then you're gonna save it. Okay. Perfect. Right, but you always have that template that you go into, and you've done the work once, and everything is set up from there. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Okay, let's see what else. There was another question that people had, and that is, let's go to journals again. All right, you are going to do this. This is a link. Anything that's underlined is a link. So when you click on this, it's kind of dense, but blah 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 blah. Sorry. You're not going to do a text submission. You're going to attach a file. So always save it to your computer as a Word document. I have said this to people privately, but let me say to everybody, all students in the community college in Connecticut have access to the entire Office suite, which means you have Word. Whether you have a PC or a Mac, you don't have to buy it. You can access it through your email. If you don't know how to do that, please let me know, and I'll help you. All right. Now, I'm not exactly sure because I don't have the student view, but if you go into my grades, you go into Journal 1, you can view the rubric, you can see the assignment, you can actually see my comments. So what you will see in my comments are, I will highlight things in yellow that are spelling mistakes, word choice mistakes, punctuation mistakes. I will highlight in green anytime you use the word you. Unless you are referring to me, it is not correct. So I'm contemplating saying for every time you use the word you, I will take 1 point off of your final grade. That usually seems to work a little bit. All right. I will do comments in the margin, and depending on which version of Word you're using, you will see it as a speech bubble, or All right, let me show you what it looks like. Yeah. Right, former semesters. I'll show you what happened. I mean, this is a different class, but journals. Okay, and let's do this one, and let's do this. Okay. So what you see is, see how you see something underlined there or highlighted? There are comments here. Sometimes you actually see the comments. Sometimes right here, at the end of virus, it'll show up as a little speech bubble, and you click on that and you see my comments. And then again, this is not FYE. This is my interpersonal communication class. Very similar. You will see the evaluation sheet at the end, and then comments on what worked well and what needs work. So this, hear the violins playing. This takes a lot of time for me to do, and I spend the time because it's important for you to know what you're doing well and what you need to work on. So please take a look at the comments. It's very frustrating when I keep making the same comment time and time again to the same student, and I realize that probably that student is not actually reading the comments that I make. If you have no intention of reading the comments, let me know, and I'll just go in and go, score. I'll fill out the rubric, but I won't put any comments on the essay itself. That'd be a great time saver for me, but I don't mind spending the time. As I said, I like reading. I think I'd be a good editor, and I see that you and I are in a partnership where I feel like I'm like a coach. You're doing the work, and I am giving you suggestions on how to make it better, how you can be stronger. All right. Please, if you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. You can send me an email to my Tunxus email. You can send me a message within the course. Let me get back into the course because this is interesting. Under messages, you're gonna create a message. Just send it to me, or you can text me to my Google number. A couple of people already have. People will tell you I answer pretty quickly. It's terrible how connected I am to my phone, but there's no reason for you not to reach out to me if you're having a problem. If you don't hear back from me within 24 hours, 24 hours, except this week has been crazy. If you don't hear back, just contact me, maybe through a different way. Okay? All right. That's all I have to tell you about journals. It's probably more than you ever wanted to know. All right. Thank you. Have a good evening.